Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Trio Petroleum's channel, a preeminent oil and gas exploration and development company. Joining us to give us some operational updates here, as always, Michael, the CEO. Welcome back, sir.
It's good to be with you again. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure to get you on, especially on these pivotal moments and times where you guys are kind of headed toward some revenue, some cash flow. But it's kind of narrowing down with some news here coming out of the, what is it, your Monterey County operation, the McCool Ranch. Do you want to just give some operational updates on that?
I'd love it. That'd be great. Thank you. Yeah, so it is exciting. You know, this the company kind of stubbed its toe at the beginning by putting all of its assets into one well that we drilled and proved there was oil. There's a lot of oil, which makes our 9,000-acre field really valuable. In fact, we're talking to some of our neighbors, Chevron and the others, about it. It's really a great field, but there was too much water, and so economically they couldn't put the water in the ground yet. And so we then went to McCool Ranch, and this is a field that we brought in. I brought it in just so we could start generating cash flow, which is what we need to do. And I put out a press release that we opened up the first 2 wells. And so I went and visited those wells. I was down, flew into San Jose, drove down to Monterey, and it's about an hour and 45 minutes south of the Carmel, Monterey area, and went into the foothills through the cows, and went up and I saw a beautiful pad. There's big tanks. You know, so it looks brand new. This was a field that was in production, and when oil prices dropped down below $30 a barrel in 2015, they shut down, and they never shut up. So they never started up again. So we got the option, we brought it in, and we turned on the first 2 wells. And I walked in, I see these pump jacks going up, and I looked, and they're explaining to me. I look over at the rod, and there's glistening oil, you know, on the rod as it goes up and down, and went over and touched the oil, and it stuck in it took me 2 days to get it off. But it was great. And I felt the pipes, and the pipes were warm as it's just, you know, coming out of the ground. And then we went over and we talked about how we're going to fill these wells up. The big tanks are now filled. So they're now pulling oil off, and we're injecting water into the ground. With this field, which is so important, is we have our own water disposal well, and we can just put all the water in that well. And so looking at that, you know, right now we haven't publicly said what we're producing will come out, but it looks like, you know, maybe 60 barrels a day, which is huge. It's a huge opportunity. And we'll come out with a real number, but that's our first 2 wells. So I immediately said, hey, let's turn on the 3rd well. And so that next week we should have that well turned on. And as soon as we do that, we'll turn on the well 4 and 5. And then now that the atmospheric current rains and everything have passed through California, we can now get onto the HV3 well. Well, actually HV1, which is where we drilled before, but we have a whole bunch of tanks and other things. We're moving those over to what we call the HV3 well. And that's a well that has previously produced a peak of 130 barrels a day, but on average about 40 barrels a day, I think it was. And we'll go in and we'll acidize and do some things, and we'll restart that also this month. So we went from the beginning of the month having no production to, we hope, we'll have three wells next week, and then 4 wells, and then hopefully 6 wells. And we're really excited about this kind of driving, you know, $2-3 million of cash flow for us as we go forward on this year. So it's a big development, and it's a big step for this company. Investors should be excited about it.
Yeah, definitely appreciate the brief updates, but I'll pass it off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think in that comment section below, and consider subscribing, because as news catalysts like this hit the wire, of course, we're going to bring it to you here. But on that note, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.